Now, one of the great things about being able to sew your own clothes is when you find a pattern you absolutely really love, you get to make it again and again and again. So in this video, I thought I'd share and review for you one of my all-time favorite blouses to make, and that is the Effie Woven top by Stylark. I mean, look at the sleeves on these things. They're gorgeous. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and this is Ripper Seams. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about this blouse here, and that is the Effie Woven top by Stylark. And also what I'm wearing is also the Effie top by Stylark. That's right, this is one of those patterns I absolutely love. It's a staple in my wardrobe and I will quite happily keep making this until the end of time. Obviously other patterns in between, I don't want to get bored, but ultimately this is such an awesome pattern. I really like it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the pattern itself in a bit of detail. I'm also going to take you through the 3 different versions I've made so far. I'll fill you in as to why I love this blouse so much and give you any tips should you want to make this one yourself. As I mentioned, the Effie top is a pattern by Stylark. Now, I really enjoy making Stylark patterns. I think their silhouettes are really nice and fresh and modern, and I haven't had a bad make from them yet. And I've made a lot of things from Stylark. The Effie blouse is definitely no exception. Now, Stylark patterns can come across as being a little tricky for beginner sewists, just because even though they're an independent pattern company, their instructions are quite brief. However, their instructions are very accurate, and if you just take your time and read through the instructions step by step, you shouldn't go too far wrong. The bonus for the Effie top, however, is that they have a QR code on the pattern, and that takes you through to a more in-depth pattern walkthrough as well as pictures explaining the steps. So don't be put off by the original instructions that come with the pattern. Definitely scan that QR code and take advantage of that extra detail. So let's take a look at the blouse itself. As you can see, it is actually quite a simple bodice on the front. It has this really nice rounded high collar up here. We have a couple of bust darts on the sides to give it a bit of shape. But the most wonderful thing about this whole entire blouse, which I absolutely love, are these big dramatic sleeves here. These are a 3/4 sleeve and they've got these big wide ruffles sitting on the edges. I absolutely think this is stunning. I get so many compliments from the blouses I have made for this, and this is just a really nice feature. Kind of makes up for the simpleness of the bodice. The sleeves are the statement. The other good bonus is this is a really nice length of top as well. I actually tuck it into about here on my jeans, and it has enough fabric there to billow out without actually coming all the way out. I absolutely love that. I don't have to lengthen my pattern at all to make that happen. Now, the back is quite simple. It is made in 2 sides. So you have a seam running down the back here, and you have a little button closure as well. So it's a really simple make. It is quite suitable for beginners. The only tricky part that you've got in this whole entire make is actually attaching these ruffles to the edge of the sleeve hem. Now, this pattern has a really good size range. It goes from a size 4 to up to size 36, which is roughly a 30-inch up to a 67 3/4 inch bust. So a good, relatively inclusive size range there. You can get the pattern in printed form as well as PDF, and it comes with an A0 size as well as your A4 printouts as well. And the PDF version comes in layers so you can isolate the sizes that you need. As for suitable fabrics, this is recommended definitely for those drapier type ones. So we're talking your viscose rayons, we're talking your silks as well as those crepes. Anything that is going to make these sleeves nice and fluttery is going to work really well here. But that didn't stop me from making this in a cotton blend here. This is actually a poly cotton. I know that because I burnt a hole in it. Yes, right here on the side here. You can't see, you wouldn't know unless I actually just told you about it. But yes, definitely you can get away with doing a nice light cotton on here as well, and probably the same for linen. For this, I do notice that these ruffle sleeves do kind of keep their shape a little bit more. So keep that in mind. If you do try this in a stiffer fabric, you are going to have more noticeable sleeves on the ends and not so much swoosh factor. And that's what I like about this blouse. It has a swoosh factor. So with all that said, let's talk about the sizing here. Now, this is not an oversized blouse by any means. This is one that is meant to kind of really nicely fit your silhouette with just a small amount of ease. Do keep that in mind when you're looking at the pattern measurements. Just make sure that you're giving yourself at least 2 inches of ease when you make this top, because this is my first version here. I absolutely love it. I wear it a lot. I made it exactly for the size I needed at the time. However, the very first time I made it, I busted out the back seam. Yes, it's stretched a bit. You probably can't tell. I have done a repair job to it. I'm a little bit broad in the shoulders and it just wasn't enough that when I went like this, yeah, I busted it. But I have done a pretty good repair job. I put some fusible interfacing on the seam and I have done a bit of repair stitching. So this is still a very wearable garment and I absolutely love it. So this one here is actually a polyester crepe and it is a lovely Lady Macaroy pattern. And as you can see, we've got these beautiful flutter sleeves here. So despite my rookie error at the back here, everything about this top otherwise went really, really well. The only thing I did do that was off pattern was I actually ended up lining the sleeves. And in this version, I've actually lined it with the same fabric. The reason I did this is because the reverse side of this fabric is actually quite white, and given it is such a lovely dark fabric here, I didn't want that white kind of showing through. The insides of the sleeves are visible when you're wearing it around, and yeah, I didn't want that. So what I did was, instead of cutting just a pair of these flutter sleeves, I actually cut out 4 pieces and then sewed them together as a front and a back and then completed the steps. So there is a seam on the inside here, but otherwise it kind of hides that fabric, and I do recommend that if you are using a fabric which has a very obvious different color on the reverse. I didn't have that problem with this version that I'm wearing here because this is a yarn dyed fabric, so you can actually see the color on the reverse. It was a problem. I did again have it on this one here. So as you can see, it is quite light on there. That would have been really distracting on the insides. However, this time I've lined it with a simple black fabric here. I didn't want to go too over the top. And I love it. It kind of gives it a bit of extra depth. One thing though, and I'm going to ask the more experienced sewers out there. Now I sewed this and I was trying to make it so that I created a tube and turned it inside out, but it was always failing. I don't know if there's a way to do that as a burrito method, so you end up having a tube and having all the seams enclosed inside. Is it impossible? Is it actually able to be done? Let me know in the comments. So I still have a bit of a way to go to kind of perfect the lining here, but what I've done so far is completely acceptable and I do recommend it. So time to talk about this specific blouse because this is my most recent make, and if you're following me on Instagram, you've probably already seen it because I did submit it as one of my entries for this year's Sew April Blouse Challenge. This fabric here is a beautiful Ecovero Crepe from Fabric Godmother, and it's this beautiful folk art inspired floral print designed to look like hand embroidery. Now I have been eyeing this print off on Fabric Godmother's website ever since it dropped. I think it was last year sometime, but because it is such a big bold print, I wasn't too sure what I could turn it into because it demands a lot of pattern placement. And then when I was flipping through all my patterns, I saw my Effie blouse and went, perfect, because this blouse is so lovely and simple, it can really carry a big bold print like this. And as you can see, spot on. Now this blouse here really only needs 1.5 meters of fabric. However, I ended up buying 2.5 meters of this beautiful crepe. That is because this pattern is quite a big repeat, and because I had to be very selective about where my pattern pieces went, it meant I had to spread them out quite a bit over that fabric, and at 2.5 meters I almost didn't have enough fabric. I managed to fudge it a bit on these sleeves, but otherwise this whole entire blouse is 100% mirrored and symmetrical. The big challenge was which of the floral designs I put where. This was one of the biggest motifs on the pattern. However, this big flower here with the leaves kind of spraying off either side was just perfect to sit on those shoulders, on your collarbone here, and that's why I decided to focus on this at the top and just let everything else fall into place. It also meant that I had to be very straight and symmetrical because otherwise it would all look quite skew-if. Plus, because it is a very symmetrical print, it will be really noticeable on the back if I didn't pattern match it. So on the back, again, I have done my best, utter best, to get that line of stitching down the back. Now, to the untrained eye, you really can't see that there is anything wrong with the back here. I have done a really good job lining this up right up until this point. I did manage to go a little bit skew-if here, but I'm not mad at that. I think I've got long hair, it covers it anyway. I think what I did was I was so confident in making sure it all matched here. I got a bit too confident here and just didn't pay attention. And that's the bit that kind of jumped out. And funnily enough, it's probably the most obvious one, but it is so close. I'm fine. Given this is my very first pattern matching at the seams, so I'm pretty proud of it otherwise. But as you can see, everything is perfectly mirrored, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. Same thing for the sleeves. Whatever happened on this side of the sleeve with this flower at the top here, I also made sure that I did on this side here as well. And we've got this lovely spray coming out at the top of each of the shoulders. That's Barbara, you're making a lot of noise there. Right, anyway, we're spinning Barbara. Barbara's getting a lot of action today, isn't she? So this is my beautiful top here. As I mentioned, I've got the lining on the inside here. This drapey fabric here is just gorgeous. I wore this for one of the days I was in Seattle for work. I got so many compliments on it, and yeah, I think it was well deserved, to be honest. For my gingham version here, I didn't have to do too much because there's so many straight lines. It was really easy to line everything up nice and straight. The one thing I did do with this version was I sized up, and that fixed my back stretching problem. Same thing again, I would say that this was actually more of a toile version when I made it, just to make sure I got the sizing right and everything else, and that's why I used the same sizing for this blouse here. So if you do make this, do check the sizing along the back just to make sure it's going to fit you and have enough ease at the back there. For me, I just recommend going up a size up, maybe make a 12 just to make sure. So yes, absolutely over the moon with this particular make. I was so happy I was able to make this particular print work. I finally got it out of my system, and yeah, really, really pleased with it. So let's have a chat about why I love this particular pattern so much and why I will continue to make it going forward. Basically, it is just so versatile. This very nice plain bodice here is perfect for wearing jewellery. Because it is a high neck, you can have nice long dangly jewellery on there. I'm one of those people, I like having some statement jewellery pieces here, especially with some nice dangly earrings. This is going to showcase that really, really nicely, even despite the print. I have my little bee necklace, which I put on here. I love it because it looks like the bees floating around the flowers, but I've got some bigger, chunkier chains on here. It looks spot on. And because it does have this nice high neck on it, it makes it very work safe. So my Effie tops are very much a go-to work option for me. At the same time, those gorgeous statement sleeves makes it a really, really nice everyday going out top as well. So depending on what fabric you choose, you can actually go from daytime to nighttime really, really easy. Perfect for those nice socializing occasions and so on. So yeah, I've been wearing my Effie blouses everywhere. Another reason is this top, because of the simple bodice shape, takes those really big bold prints really, really well. So if you've been eyeing off a big gorgeous print in the store, not too sure what to do with it because it is so big and bold, this is one of those patterns you can utilize it for. Just make sure that you order enough fabric that if you do need to align it or pattern match it or anything like that, that you have enough fabric to do that with. Now with this one, because I did have to be very selective about where my pattern pieces went, I do have a lot of scraps left over. I'm okay with that because I have a special project to make use of those scraps in the future, so watch this space. Another win for this pattern is it's not very complicated. It is, like I said, quite a straight standard make. The only complicated thing is actually inserting these ruffles onto the sleeve ends. Otherwise, you could pretty much make this in a day. This one, because of the pattern matching, took me a little bit longer than that, but this one, yep, in a day. Other one, in a day. And I'm just going to keep going on about it. These sleeves are to die for, and it's not just the fact that they look pretty. These are a 3/4 sleeve, and despite this big floaty piece at the end, they don't get in your way. If they were longer, if it was a full-length sleeve, yep, you would be dangling those sleeves in the water when you wash your hands. You'd have be in your soup, in your food, getting in the way of your keyboard. These ones, 3/4 sleeves, just above the wrists, misses everything. You can wash your hands without getting them wet, type away to your heart's content, flutter them as you want to. Yeah, they're great. I love these sleeves. They just don't get in the way. Absolute win. And finally, it is a cute, lovely top, and I think it's a little bit overlooked. I've been on Instagram, not many people seem to have made them. A few more on the Style Arc Facebook group, but yeah, the Effie blouse, I think it needs more love. It's very underrated. So given I've been talking about this one in particular, let's give it some Ripper Seams ratings and chuck it on the backyard catwalk, shall we? So let's talk about brain friendliness. I've pretty much explained it. Brain friendliness, 5 out of 5. Pretty easy going. Fit, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5 because of that back issue. I'm proceed with caution with that one. Do check out the measurements properly, maybe make a twirl. Don't go straight into your good fabric here. I'm happy enough that I've made 2 twirls before that. I know exactly what I need to do going forward. I've perfected the pattern that fits me specifically. So for fit, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5. And for this particular make, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 lovable otters because, stunning. And it's time for the backyard catwalk. So Barbara's had all the fun of showing off this top so far in this video. Now it's my turn. Here it is on the backyard catwalk, and yeah, check out the sleeves. Still going on about those sleeves. The lining for these is just a scrap of viscose chalet I had lying around, so nothing too flashy there. There is that seam at the back. As you can see, it's pretty good. Check out that fabric though. The design on that fabric, that embroidered look, really, really pretty. If anyone's wondering why my lawn is looking a bit overgrown, it is no mow May here in the UK. This is where we kind of leave stuff long for the birds and the insects. It's good for them. But otherwise, yeah, check out my blouse. It's pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this video. Lots of fun. So let's finish off with some tips to keep in mind if you're interested in making the Effie Woven top by Style Arc. Number 1, definitely go and check your pattern sizing, your measurements, particularly along the back. It is a little bit snug on the back. I busted my back seams, so you don't have to. So yeah, please do check those. If you're making this in a fabric which has a very obvious reverse size, do consider lining your actual floaty sleeves here. Lining them makes them look a lot more professional, a lot more high-end, and I do recommend. You don't have to, that's just my personal preference. Obviously, it's not part of the pattern, you will have to improvise, but it's up to you. I just think it gives a nice finishing touch to the overall blouse. Now, my final tip for you is if you are attaching these ruffles to the edge of your sleeves. Admittedly, this is a bit of the pattern which isn't exactly detailed, and I very much had to wing this and figure it out for myself. So before you attach this ruffle to the main sleeve, do make sure that you overlock the hem of the main sleeve first. If you don't have an overlocker, do some sort of edge stitching so you can actually feel your way around the edge. What I then do is make sure I have the midpoint of the sleeve with the seam. I've got that there, and I find the same for the ruffle before I actually pull the basting stitches to pull in that ruffle. I pin the matching points of the ruffle and sleeve together, and then independently I put this side of the basting stitches to match the ruffle to the length of the sleeve, and likewise on the other side. And then I just hand baste this ruffle to the very edge of the sleeve. But what I do is I actually just feel the very top of the overlocking stitches, and as I go in, I make sure that that needle is just going above the top of that overlocking stitch. That way you know it is consistently placed around the top of the sleeve. It's hand basted, you don't have to do too many stitches in there just so it stays in place. And when you go to sew it on properly, just keep feeling for that overlocked edge to make sure it is just off the side of your needle. And of course, you're going to be sewing over the top of those basting stitches, the original ones where you did the ruffle. So a lot of stitching to keep those in place. It's the only tricky thing out of this whole entire make is figuring out how to place these properly. This is the best and easiest way I have found to do it. It is very much doing it by feel, just doing that little bit of hand basting and following the guide of that overlocking stitch just makes it fit really nicely. Sounds a bit complicated. Trust me, when you get around to doing it, it makes a lot more sense. But that is my tip for getting those ruffles on. If you haven't tried this particular technique of putting these ruffles on with a bit of an edge to it, it is a bit of a head scratcher. Trust me, I've been there as that beginner sewers, and now this is one of my favorite tops, and I have no problems attaching these at all. So there you go. That is the review of the Effie top by Style Arc. Definitely not sponsored. This is just me absolutely loving this pattern. I just wanted to share it with you. Let me know, have you made the Effie top? Because I don't see many of them around. Let me know if you made the Effie top and any other secrets and tips you might have to share with anybody who might consider wanting to make it. If you do want to make it, just let me know in the comments as well. I'd love to hear, and let me know how it turns out. So if you've enjoyed this video, then please go and give me a thumbs up down below. And whilst you're there, and if you haven't already, do also consider subscribing. That way you won't miss out on any future Ripper Seams videos. I wish you a wonderful week of sewing, and of course, I'll see you in the next video.